some like Amar offlaner. Like it's gonna happen at some point, especially now with March in the mix. Like there's gonna be some creativity.
You know it.
In before it never happens, and it's just the same old Nigma.
No, I know. That could be the problem, is sort of we hype up these things, we think that there's going to be something cool, and then just all the dreams fall apart. Man, we got really deep very quickly into this cast here. Bunch of heroes in the mid. They get down the 2 wards. We'll see if they face off against each other off to this side. But already, you were talking about this at the beginning of the draft. You really liked the opening that Nigma had, and you felt like it sort of fit well with what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I feel like for Nigma, especially with how well Gladiators at the major were able to show Leshrac Eye being such a good combo. But, you know, Amar, 1 second. Let's see him escape real quick. Yeah, I feel like you throw Sumo on this Leshrac. The hero didn't really get nerfed in the previous small patch that we had. It's like, what, 10 less damage on his ultimate, something like 1 second less on Bloodstone. So, yeah, Eye Leshrac, filthy combination. Eye not nerfed. It should be Nigma's like top strategy, I feel, coming into this DPC.
No, absolutely. I think that would be incredibly strong. Also, you can see Storm already queuing up the Meteor Hammer. The other thing that the patch brought us is not just the disappearance of Lesh, but the Meteor Hammer that the panel talked about a lot as well. And we did see Amar there have to skill up the Pounce level 1. So a win with the Fishman Glimpse strats that you love to see. And it looks like they are going to be sending him up top. So Amar and GH playing together in the top lane with MC trying to take the safe lane Pango. I guess they just want to try and get better lane setup. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, so I don't think anyone in chat should be going, lol, Amar's playing offlane Slark. No, this is very much, they're looking for the setups, right, like you mentioned. IO Slark, incredibly strong matchup. Now you throw it into some like Monkey King melee hero, you can take the fight to him. And then you have Pangolier against Enigma. Those Eidolons, of course, you can swash them down. So yeah, Enigma just making sure they have the better laning matchups to propel their heroes into the lane.
Yeah, and we already have seen how bad it can go sending a Pango into the offlane like Lacoste was talking about. That mad hero can really just get punished quite quickly. Mar trading hits now against Fishman up top, bringing him lower and lower, and willing to go toe-to-toe even without that Essence Shift point.
Yeah, I feel like because you have that IO, you don't really care as well, right? It's like, Essence Shift would be nice, but IO Slark is still so potent. And it's another reason why they want to put the Pangolier away from this lane, because Disruptor, now that you put this 1 point in Glimpse early on, this Pangolier, like, using Swash to disengage from the area, you're always going to be brought back into that kind of volatile area. So, yeah, another kind of layer to why Nigma did do these laning setups.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine Watson and Fishman just bullying the crap out of a Spirit Breaker Pango lane. And in the meantime, they're having an okay time down there. Pango already 7 last hits. And you can see that while he is getting denied out a little bit by Toby, you know, not as bad as it would have been when you're denying out all those range creeps as happened in the last patch.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine for the setup. And that is the unfortunate thing with Spirit Breaker. Like, it's such a bad hero for laning phase. Like, as someone who's got like 950 games on it, like, it feels worse than playing Darks during the first 3 minutes. Just so you understand the pain.
Hold on. Let's not compare pain here, okay? This is supposed to be a safe broadcast.
No,
what the hell was that?
This is a safe space for us to share our, you know, our deepest, darkest thoughts
and compare them, apparently.
I mean, yeah, you want to tier list it or what? Like,
it's messed up. No, I hear what you're saying, though. No matter what, it feels pretty bad when you're trying to deal with that lane. As Amari's going to be pulled back in. The tether does continue through it. The Boundless Strike leaps away. Can they bring him down, though? He's stuck off to the side. Watson makes the move forward, but won't be able to find the full kill. Still, really annoying to deal with this in the lane.
Yeah, luckily for Nigma there, the lane is pushing in, so they're going to have that tower region underneath them. Just be able to see us under tower. No major threat, but yeah, we haven't really mentioned it, but the overall lineups here, I think for Storm and Invoker, like, he has to do a lot of work to get this Entity lineup into the game, because Entity, they don't really have ways to defend their towers or to make these like quick, swift moves across the map. It's a lot of poking and nuisance, and this is why Storm's got to pop off, because on the flip side, Nigma,
Sumail just moves in. Okay, well, somebody popped off in the mid lane, that's for sure. Sumail making a very quick move.
And this is kind of what I was hinting at, is like, if Nigma like just gets the lead, their lineup will just snowball throughout the map.
It needs to be him, though, because right now Amar is not having a good time up top. Like, we were talking about, okay, you know, Stormer needs to pop off, but if Slark is this badly hurt early on, it's going to be pretty rough, too. That being said, it's 9 last hits on the Invoker, 9-1 versus 22-6. He's getting completely bodied here.
At this point, we can say, don't worry though, it's only an offlane Slark, okay?
Right, exactly. All right, I see.
You know, Pango 16 for 1, but yeah, for Nigma, it's like the Slark pick, it feels even if it's got a bad lane, it's going to present itself with like just jumping the back lines. You'll probably buy a shard. You'll enable everyone else. So for Nigma's game plan, it's not the worst, but
glyphs the wave there too, so he can keep the pressure on with Sumail. Very, very bold stuff coming out from him mid there as they missed the tornado onto him earlier too. So already you can see the pain that's starting to come in onto that Invoker in the mid.
Yeah, and yeah, I think luckily for Stormstormer, there's no support rotation that Nigma can make cleanly.
Okay.
Because I has to have hug Slark, and because of this Bounty Hunter hugging the Enigma, like Spiritbreaker can't leave bot lane. Because I look at Mind Control, he's on half HP, he will just get shurikened or Janarded down. Currently he's 2-point in Janarda on the Bounty Hunter. So very much Nigma are locked into the side lanes, which means this mid lane is just that perfect 1v1 duel, a very honest matchup, and yeah, so far Sumail is crushing it.
Yeah, he is really taking it away there. Now you can see sort of this esportsbet.io odds, they were a little bit heavily into the favor Entity before the game, now coming a little bit more close, maybe a testament to how this early game has gone. That Nigma getting off to a hot start with the Lesh. The question that I've got with this is, you know, when are they going to try and sort of take advantage of that? Sumail in the mid went onto him again, but Amar now turning toe-to-toe against Watson, wants to bring him down. Only level 3 on the Slark, and this does not appear to be working. Maybe turns on a Fishman for the kill. Can he get away afterwards?
He has some branches.
Has a couple more to get out of there, and he is going to be able to survive. So a really nice play. Builds up the stacks on the Monkey King, and then just kills off Fishman.
The amount of like trust you have to have, like GH probably in comms is like, don't worry, Amar, I got you. Keep going, keep trying.
Comes in, leashes, needs to be oh no. Oh, God.
I have nothing to say.
That was not how that was supposed to go. And GH, he's going to be pulled back in, tries to get away. That's a double kill for Watson. In towards mid, though. Nigma wanting to make up for the sins of the top lane will manage to take down Stormstormer again.
God, I guess I got to calm down from that one.
It happens.
It was just like, I'm looking at this like beautiful aggression. It's like, all right, that's hype. And then it's like, you don't want to go on the Monkey King. I feel like so far Nigma should have learned that the Monkey King is slaughtering the Slark in the matchup, right? 30 for 12, you got 15 for 4, but no, Amar, he's playing with some aggro.
GH is like, don't worry, guys. Sumail, coming mid. We're going to get some more kills there. Fishman starts to drop down low. The Spiritbreaker charge might be enough to finish him off. Can they get out afterwards? So they do bring down that Disruptor as they try and chase down this Bounty Hunter. Katomi taking a lot of damage, still just level 3. And Sumail ready to dive pretty freaking far, but runs out of mana before he can find that final touch.
Yeah, and this is the part of the game where Entity needs to be careful. When Io and Spiritbreaker do leave their side lanes, sure, they are going to be sacking a Slark and Panglet. Like, they're not going to get a lot from side lanes, but it can propel Sumail to completely break open this game. So, yeah.
Can really take over in a big way. Now, the charge comes from behind, and Toby starts to get dropped lower and lower, swashbuckle forward, but they can't find enough for the kill. But up top,
Watson.
Monkey King. Oh, Watson got very, very low there. Does manage to escape.
That's a good tip from Stormstormer to, PMA his teammates there. That Monkey King was dead to rights, but dodges one little bit of damage, jukes it away, and yeah, is able to spring off.
Kuro, 2 bashes in a row. Love to see it. Just forces back Katomi a little bit. But yeah, 7.5 minutes in, and you can see there's like very clearly defined layers here, which is why that Monkey King getting away is so clutch, because he's the top net worth right now for Entity, very much sort of carrying their hopes and dreams in this game. Because I mean, Stormstormer, you can see it's kind of rough for all of those heroes around that area.
It's rough, but I think the saving grace is he is going quad sweats. He is going to be able, this is a hero that is one of the best at counter aggressions if you don't lose your tower early on, right? You get the levels, you take away the mana, Leshrac then can't continue diving. So like Entity, if they can get to like 1 or 2 cheap items on their heroes and they correctly choose where to fight, they are going to be able to deal with that aggression. It's just, can they get to that point to stabilize the game for themselves? Like, again, like Wukong's command on Monkey King as well, a great defensive tool. They need to get to that point, and that's why Nigma, you can feel like the need or like desire to try and move their heroes around the map to try and find these kills. And I feel like Katomi's been doing this the entire time. Like, he's on the brink of death or just being quite a nuisance.
Absolutely. Well, Meteor Hammer revealed in the mid, but there is a lot of healing coming out from GH. More than enough to keep him alive. The glimpse, is it going to be enough damage? No. Doesn't quite have enough to kill off Sumail. Misses the stun completely. Fairy Fire backs away. Will survive. Oh man, by the skin of his teeth, Sumail gets out of there. And Stormstormer showing that value, like you talk about, the counter aggression, it can be strong.
Yeah, and this is because Nigma wasn't able to, when they brought their supports mid, to be decisive enough to take this tower. Because if they took this tower, we're not looking at a 9-minute situation where Invoker is playing with confidence. It's now the map feels lost. So some of these early moves from Nigma weren't able to cleanly connect, and this is exactly what Entity need to get themselves into this game. So yeah, so far so good. Net worth looking absolutely incredible for them. This Monkey King 4.3k to the, we'll call it off-lane slot just to make it sound better. 2.9k, 3k for Amar.
He's catching back up, but it's going to be a little bit. That death definitely hurt him. Now, there are some really good stacks that are built up in the jungle too. Fishman here is going to be able to get the glimpse and then run away. But there was a ping on the Radiant Ancients as Stormstormer drops another Meteor Hammer mid. GH can only just look on. So Entity are aware that these stacks are there and that eventually Lesh is going to want to make the move to go and clear them out, which he might just do right now, actually. So that could be a sort of point where they come and try and contest him. We'll have to watch and wait.
Yeah, I think right now, Sumo's kind of in like a farming state. I think there's been a couple times where he's been not outplayed, but just disengaged in the mid lane. And if they want to take the fight, they have to bring a lot of heroes.
And they go right on in. The glimpse to get him away again. And now Kuro's kind of in without a plan, without any help. And he's going to be brought down. So Entity, they actually use 4 heroes in that direction. One was a TP that got canceled. But you can see they're going to go back and clear out those stacks after everybody comes mid.
Yeah, I think the Fishman, he's had some really nice positioning in regards to just preventing Nigma's aggression. He's helped now multiple times in the mid lane. I think if anything, you might look towards mind control. You know, when you're a Pangolier into a Nigma, the lane's never in a good spot. Potentially when he hits 6, if he TP'd into mid, they overwhelm with 4 heroes, pre-10 minutes. That could have been the necessary resources Nigma needed to actually break down this map, because I feel it's somewhat illegal that Stormstormer's tower is still alive at this minute mark, especially when there's like a bounty hunter support with a disruptor. Like, there's not a double whammy defensive support during enabling Invoker right now. So I think Nigma will be kind of kicking themselves a little bit that they haven't been able to progress this map state.
I mean, the other thing too is just that there isn't anybody to come on in and stop this Meteor Hammer from happening. Like, Lesh is wanting to farm out the jungle so much that nobody is coming to contest this, and it's just free hits. It's like, think about when we have all those smokes coming in to take a tower and take the tier 1. Like, he's getting it for free.
Yeah, what a world we live in when Invoker's taking the mid tower quicker than Leshrac.
Dude, it feels really bad for him. And he's even going to get the last hit. So yeah, tower goes down. And, well, they do bring in Kuro. Static Storm already dropped Fishman. Does he have enough to get the kill? No. So the Disruptor gets out. Enigma, I mean, they're still farming. They're still getting what they want to some extent. But Entity's just getting it quicker.
I will just emphasize for the rest of this cast, if I see Spirit Breaker right-clicking, I will probably innately scream bash at some point.
That's fair. That's reasonable.
This is nothing to do about Nigma or Kuroki. It's just my innate need for the cow to bash, right? Again, just in case anyone in chat thinks it's some, some bias or whatever.
No, the bias comes out in other ways.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go. Wait, what? Sorry. Hold on.
Down bottom, Nigma smoking up, trying to find a kill. It's just going to be Katomi there, but that is still at least one as Nigma get on the board. Haven't been able to take a tier 1 tower yet, but they're getting towards that timing with Lesh, finding his Bloodstone. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, and they've completed the mech on GH now, so even more heals are going to be coming out. And if anything, it's just they need to be very select with how they use this. They can kind of get baited into looking for a fight, and once again, disrupt the Static Storm, the Invoker, Tornado. Like, they can put themselves in a weak position.
Ooh, and got to be careful here. Amar, Tornado to start. They find him, tries to TP out. No way to break it. Monkey King, the Boundless Strike was still on cooldown.
I like how this entire time we kind of forgot that Toby existed in this game. Like,
it's true.
I won't even lie. There's an Enigma in the bot lane, and he's, what was it? Like 700 gold away from a Greaves, and wait, oh no, Sumo's Courier died with the Bloodstone.
Yeah, Katomi on the job. He knew what it was gonna become in that direction. Hasn't been able to get level 6 yet, but I think he's pretty okay with this.
Of course. I mean, you were able to take away, the Bloodstone for an extra minute and a half, and Nigma, this lineup, it's always chasing that next, minute timing.
Oh yeah.
Pre-20 minutes, like that's their element. And Entity, they're doing the small things, defend their mid-tier 1 tower, take away the Bloodstone Courier. Nice little play there from from Amar, actually. He lost his ultimate passive, so then he scanned on top of him to check if it was Bounty Hunter or a ward.
Right.
Then he knew it was Bounty Hunter, so he didn't use a sentry. So
Right.
some might say it was a waste of a scam, but I kind of like it in the early game when you're not making these like fluid map plays. Use it for your advantage. Yeah, he didn't waste a sentry.
Didn't die either. There were a lot of heroes up there. Could have been bad. Man, I will say Stormstormer, like, this is the most Meteor Hammers I've seen used in the early game in a really long time. He's just spamming it off cooldown on these towers. Like, his tower damage is going to be off the chain.
And it's the fact that he's doing this against a Spirit Breaker with an IO relocate.
Right.
And that Pangolier, like, rolling thunder at any point. Like, he's doing this against some of the best anti-split pushing-esque heroes. But yeah, Nigma just haven't been able to capitalize on it. The confidence from Stormstormer.
Well, and you can see they're anticipating a gank, but Nigma, they're not really wanting to do that. They're not wanting to make moves yet. Still waiting for that Bloodstone. Sumail has the gold now, can go and pick up at least the point booster if he wants, but it's still going to be a couple of minutes, or I guess a couple of seconds until he gets it finished off. And when do you think they want to try and fight on the side of Nigma? Is there a moment when they're actually going to be sort of trying to take the fight to the side of Entity?
I mean, any minute when they complete that Bloodstone, it should be their time to go. Like, we've yet to see a Rolling Thunder. We're yet to really see Amar enter the fight.
Tries to get him here. Is it going to be enough to take down Stormstormer? They drop down the sentry, and they do get that kill.
Yeah.
On the other side, Nigma get away from the action.
I think, yeah, finally Stormstormer got punished. I mean, again, he's had a great game so far, but I feel like he should have died at least once to this, the cheekiest of his tower aggression, and yeah, it does come in. But no, yeah, now that Nigma has the Diffusal Blade on Slark, they've got about to complete Diffusal Blade on Pangolier as well, the Bloodstone on Leshrac. Like, this is a massive timing for Nigma to cross the river to look for those fights. But they have to be careful, because this entire time, like, we haven't even mentioned Nigma too much. He's about to complete a Greaves.
Right.
They're running into a Static Storm. They're running into a Wukong's with an overfarmed Monkey King. Like, this isn't going to be easy. I think Monkey's actually even got BKB, complete by the time. Like, this is a 16-minute BKB. Like, he's had one of the freest of games.
No, I mean, and that's a huge point as well. If they can keep them there and actually immediately just going to drop it onto Amar, he is in a world of hurt. They try and get him in and try and heal him up with the IO. Is it going to be enough to keep him alive? Does, well, TP out. Anything to break it? Nothing. He gets away. They drop the black hole late. Oh, Toby, a little unfortunate on that one.
They threw the kitchen sink at him, and yeah, Amar just didn't die.
Damn.
Damn.
I mean, that's a lot used for nothing. I mean, if I'm Nigma right now, I feel like they've got to go again as soon as IO's up.
Oh, they're screaming for the aggression, and already they're finding Toby.
Yeah, why not? Makes the move over, finds that kill, and Nigma keep on looking for more. Amar immediately onto Katomi. They will throw the glimpse to try and get him away, but they find Fishman. Can they bring him out in time? No. But still, a huge win. And after finishing that Bloodstone, a couple of seconds later, Sumail's got his Kaya.
He's an absolute big boy on this Leshrac. Don't know why Jenkins just hit me for a second with my casting. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I mean, this is... Entity was having such a beautiful, stable game, and like that is the one thing that they didn't want to do with this lineup. Like, you give an opportunity for Nigma to go, wait, cooldowns are down, let's keep chaining it, and they're not going to stop.
No, they keep going for more. Fishman there tries to get the glimpse to get him away, and it actually looks like he will be able to for a moment, but eventually they're able to chase him down with the Pango, and now the roll-in onto Stormstorm. He doesn't have anywhere to go. No black hole available. I don't know what happened to it, but it is not here now, and oh, a good turn with Watson. That might be enough to keep him alive. Sumail is low on mana, so everybody has to retreat to get out of there, and you can't afford to give up any of these kills with the track gold ready to come back the other direction. So 9-5, only 1,000 gold separating the two teams, but a very action-packed last couple of minutes.
Yeah, for Entity right now, they need to kind of make the map feel wider. They can't fall victim to taking every single fight that Nigma tries to present themselves. Utilize the split push, utilize, Monkey jumping around, Invoker with his hammer, and then when you're able to get your cooldowns back up again, play underneath your vision and look for that fight that you can actually use your spells correctly, because this is the point when Nigma, like, they can't go Roshan, really, with this lineup, not until way later down the line. So it doesn't matter if you can see the tower or two.
Walks into vision, Glimpse pulls him back in. It's a second round of this now. The Meteor Hammer connects, but Amar, he just walks away. Do they have enough to keep him alive? Yes, they do. And now Sumail, he's doing so much damage to all of them. The Greaves, will it be enough to keep him alive through it? It looks like it will. So the turnaround comes out, and now the BKB, but immediately they relocate, but they get him back in. Sumail, he's caught and can't get away. Kuro now in trouble. More track gold gonna be given over. So Entity find 2 clutch kills, and well, Io on the relocate. He's gonna get in trouble. Gonna get ran down now as well. A couple of big pickoffs.
I mean, Fishman just perfectly starting these fights, right? Like the aggressive positioning from Amar, he just drags them back, and it's like an Entity are forcing Nigma to take fights when they're not cleanly ready to do it, right? They're like kind of scrambling and like hoping to throw bodies, and sure, it looked great where Sumo was pumping out some early damage, but this Monkey King with BKB, he's able to just stand his ground, throw the Wukongs, and just put that rift in between Nigma's very, snowbally-esque lineup where they kind of all need to be clumped up together. Like, you don't want to be clumped up against, you know, Midnight Pulse, Invoker, Monkey King. It's too difficult.
No, it's a problem. And there was that moment. I mean, I think the Greaves was definitely a huge turning point, too, where, you know, everybody had taken so much damage. You got max value out of it. As Stormstormer is going to be charged. I don't know what happened to break Lesh's whatchamacallit either. It looked like he was getting relocated out of there. But regardless, it was the glimpse that must have come out onto Sumail.
There's so many ways for Entity to block it. It's either clipped by a Static Storm, there's, you know, Mana Fist, there's Shurikens if he's tracked and he just gets clipped by him. There's like so many ways for it to be a difficult relocate out game. Like we're yet to see the, you know, those iconic, oh, he's out, let's re-engage after. Like yet to see that really happen.
And of course, you know, picking the Fishman Disruptor, I think everybody knew when we saw that Leshrac coming out that there is a likelihood that you're going to get a GHIO afterwards. So having the perfect answer for it with this Disruptor, at least in some regards, not in every regard, but you know, with the run-in looked good. It was the save that was a little bit of a problem. 20 minutes now, 10-8. Still very, very close between these two teams. And you said that, you know, we're probably not going to be seeing a Roche anytime soon. It does kind of feel like that's the next thing on the docket, though, for these teams, if they can win, like, a big fight, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Or do you think that they just want to try and push down more towers? Oh, you may have...
the only time that Nigma... I may have pressed that button, boss. I thought it was a push to mute, not push and mute. You know, I forgot. Anyways, what was I saying? I feel like for both teams, Roshan's pretty awkward. They don't have that innate taker, so it's who really breaks the biggest fight to be able to do it after.
Well, they drop down a Static Storm, low on mana right now on Amar, and well, as it gets burned, they get the Black Hole this time. So he's like, gotcha. So a nice little pick-off as they take down Amar.
I feel like this has been the same scenario like 3 to 4 times in a row now.
I mean, he got away last time, though, right?
Yeah, but his team kind of died for it, boss. Like.
That's fair. That's a good point.
It's like Groundhog Day, just Amar in the dire jungle.
It's a decent point. Well, regardless, it does feel like this game very much revolves around the Lesh for Nigma, but Stormstormer and Monkey, they're both scaling and becoming these like really big problems for the moment.
Yo, we got a Deso on the Monkey as well. Like, we don't really see it too much, but he's got Mage Slayer for the Leshrac, Desolator as well to punish the armor of Leshrac. Like, this Monkey is going to slaughter.
The Meteor Hammer, it doesn't connect because Kuro got the charge through. Still control now onto MC. Wants to get away, but will he be able to? Katomi, okay, they turn and are ready to fight. Now has to roll on out with Lesh is already dead, though.
DD
Watson caught him. Oh, all right, evacuate. Everybody needs to get out of there. And Watson, I don't know if he's going to let you do it. Amar tries to turn to fight onto this Monkey King. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. Stormstormer, the disarm, it's there. Watson's still living through this. He's dropping lower and lower, though. And, well, with the depth shot, the dodge, he's in a banana form. Watson, he lives up through it. And now tries to turn to get away. It's not going to happen. The banana, it went moldy, and now they're looking for more. These fights just are going absolutely haywire back and forth as eventually Toby gets brought down too.
I mean, Entity, they just got, you know, split apart there. It's just the fact that Nigma were able to disengage. Like, Leshrac dying at the very start of the fight. Like, some teams, they're piecing out. They're not taking it, but they are just going to, you know what, you're on the north side. Let's just, you know, re-engage a little bit. So,
I mean, it's true, right? Like, think about how many of the fights could start good for Nigma where Sumail dies like doing no damage. Like, how does that happen?
Rarely. Rarely any. And that's where like Entity, again, like their heroes, they thrive on taking the brunt of the engagement and then going, now you're in our territory. When
Right.
they're the aggressors, unless they're protecting each other with just bodies, it's somewhat difficult. So I feel like, yeah, Entity got a little bit too excited with their position in the game. And yeah, at any moment with this Nigma lineup, you give them that opportunity, they will just sweep across the map. And with mentioning how hard it was to go Roshan, that's the opening that Nigma needed to take it.
Right, and these next couple of minutes are going to be very telling because we haven't seen that explosion out of net worth. The team's very much still splitting the map. I want to see if Nigma can actually like put the clamps down on this, sort of use the Aegis to play a little bit more oppressively around the map, shut off the areas where Entity are going to farm, or if it's going to be more of the same. Could be tough.
Aegis is a key factor for Nigma. Like Entity, all their heroes are locked into big spells, right? And maybe not all of them, but at least Monkey, Disruptor, and Enigma, right? If these big spells are down, it gives even more. Let's watch Kuroki die for a second.
They're bringing in a lot of heroes. If they take this fight afterwards, it might go poorly for him. And in fact, they find him more. Drop the Wukong's command down, tons of damage, he's gone. Just give up the Spirit Breaker. Just let him die. Didn't end up happening, and now Nigma thinking about going in. They will retreat away. So, do lose 2 heroes there. And Entity, very good placement of, you know, taking their fights on their terms.
Yeah. In true Nigma fashion, though, this won't matter. They're just going to respawn and go again, right?
That's fair.
We're talking about these big spells, right? 90-second cooldown now on Wukong's. Static Storm on cooldown for a minute. Like, sure, you're trading off this Slark, but I feel this Slark has put himself in a position where he isn't the carry in the game. You know, he is just like this sacrificial lamb that will just, you know, throw his body in. He bought this shard early on. He's not going BKB. He's forcing Disruptor to go, I have to stop you, so that the aggression doesn't follow up. And I feel like for Nigma, they need this is another window where they make those plays. If they don't, then we are leaning towards Entity just, you know, playing defensively, waiting for these BKBs to come out, and then they all look to, you know, cross the river. But yeah, already look, Nigma smoking up.
Well, and you see Katomi sort of scouting all this stuff happening. Sumail runs on in. Will get tracked and head on out to push out the wave. But yeah, still playing very much in the driver's seat, at least for right now with that Aegis. They do have the Aghanim Shard done on GH also, so that extra spell lifesteal, very solid stuff. Katomi walks into vision for just a moment. Do they TP in a lot now? They bring in Amar, Tornado lift up, Katomi, he's gone. Disarm, tries to get some rundown here. Static Storm, they don't actually connect on anybody, but Watson, he's right on top of him. Amar thinking about getting away, is already under the ulti form, but hasn't decided to pop that big boundless yet. And it looks like, yeah, Entity, after losing the bounty, they won't go for any more chase.
Yeah, if they connected on the connect field, that's when they would have probably, you know, thrown in the Monkey King and looked for the fight. But they don't hit the big spell, they respect it, they wait, they hold back. They understand that at any point, Nigma can just look to take multiple fights. Like again, this is a lineup where if they survive the big spells, they're looking to take 2-3 fights after that as well. So Entity becoming more disciplined as the game progresses.
Well, we'll see if the next couple... Oh, that Paladin Sword. Oh, man. So the traded over lifesteal is pretty... Or spell lifesteal is what it is. The spell amp and then gains spell lifesteal and can share the spell lifesteal with its tethered target. So amping that up with Paladin Sword now, I don't know how Lesh dies.
Yeah, they got to try and, you know, either break that tether or at least just kite out that engagement, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Luckily for Entity, they do have one of the best spells, which is just a black hole. You know, you throw
That's
two
fair.
heroes inside that, they're gonna, you know, they should be dying.
I want to see, because this is like, to me, this is the reason that I think this combo has looked so unbelievably good with Lesh. The only hero that I feel like it makes even look better is the Lifestealer sometimes, but immediately jumps now onto that Bounty Hunter, now onto Stormstormer, trying to find and kill him off. Static Storm is down, but they will be able to walk away with that BKB. Do they go in for a second salvo? Sumail chasing. They've got some spirits out there as well. Katomi going to get caught by that Rolling Thunder. There's another glimpse to pull that Lesh even further away. And in the end, it is only going to be the Disruptor going down, it looks like.
Yeah, Entity are doing a really good job. When they don't connect on their spells, they are disengaging so quickly. But they kind of, they know Watson's in the area.
Right.
They're scouting out with the orbs, even throwing down the ward, but yeah, already too far to the right-hand side.
I think that this is sort of these like Band-Aid remedy measures, and I think Disruptor's been doing a really good job of like keeping Sumail out of the fights. The kinetic fields, the glimpses, it's been really annoying to play with, but when this BKB comes out, that feels like it's a whole nother turning point for Nigma.
Yeah, I mean, especially the fact that he's gone, he had Bloodstone, then he had, of course, bots, E-Blade, Blink, like he's gone through all these items before BKB. So when you get to like the pivotal part of the game, it's going to be a 9-second BKB, whilst Invoker's already, used it a couple of times. Monkey King's used it 2-3 times. Yeah. Again, I feel like for Nigma, they kind of wish the game was in a more aggressive state right now, but again, both teams, no real net worth has shifted either way throughout this entire game. It's still anyone's game.
Right, and there is also that worry eventually that could come out of like, Invoker isn't going for it yet, but Aghanim Scepter, this is already a full X-Sword Invoker at this point, going into Sheepstick for the moment, but with this Midas, Stormstormer is definitely going to scale in damage, and that combo together with Black Hole, I mean, it's just devastating. Time will tell, we will see, but for now, Entity holding on to this Radiant jungle, have some good wards down. They're almost positioned like they want to try and pressure this bottom tier 2 tower, but it's a pretty bold move without an Aegis.
Yeah, I think, just playing in their vision, scouting out of Eidolons, allowing Katomi to tank up some smokes, that's kind of the key theme of the game.
Right.
Like, there's no real benefit right now from them fighting this bot area. It's like, if you win, like, you take bottom tier 2, that doesn't really help you. So you already see them smoking up. They'll leave their vision in bot, move
They
to
already
top.
scanned it, though. The scan out there actually caught on to Stormstormer, so they knew about this smoke before it even went out.
Now, do they have a second smoke? Can they do the let's go back again? And they don't.
Okay. So Entity, they'll take over this side now a little bit, looking for anybody, but not finding. Nigma, instead, they're going to head in with 5.
Watson has completed the Skadi, so some anti-healing is online now for Entity. You throw down the Wukongs, you're going to be in a pretty good spot to be able to rebuttal Nigma, but again, they need to try and contain them within that, because so far Nigma has done a very good job at poking the spells and then looking to chase them down after. Okay, Nigma smoked up.
Yeah, see if they can find anybody. Amar is the one that's out front, kind of leading the charge.
Like the entire game.
Right. It looks, I mean, and now they have the BKB done on Lesh too. Yeah, this is, I mean, the smoke is not going to connect, but this next fight, I feel like for Entity, you got to be very careful about how you play it.
Yeah, I mean, Mind Control's got a 9-second BKB yet to use. Sumo's got the 9-second BKB yet to use. Amar's picked up this Ag, so he can jump in. If he's really quick, he's going to be able to disengage. Makes it even harder for Static Storm.
Likewise, though, as you mentioned, Watson having completed that Skadi, it's a whole nother level of trying to shut down that heal potential that's coming out from the Lesh. But not really looking like they're actually going to find a fight here. Instead, it's probably going to be around that next Roche area. 2.5 minutes till it's capable of respawning, or till it will respawn, rather. So sort of middle of the road, and Stormstormer does finish off now his Shard. He's going to bring that one over in just a moment. But yeah, they're very much giving up a lot of ground right here.
I mean, just a bit of a farm game right now. I feel like Amar's been so aggressive this entire time that the team's gone, mate, just chill, please, just calm down. And now they're like waiting for themselves. Again, I feel like this is the point where both teams realize that using spells now, it means nothing. Neither team, after a big kill, is going to suddenly look to chase for a Rax or anything, or like go to these tier 2, tier 3s. There's so many towers up. So both teams respect that Roshan is the key to the game. You wait, you dodge each other, you smoke around the map if you find someone that's great, but they're kind of just dancing around, waiting for an objective that enables them to team fight, with the knowledge that that team fight will mean something bigger than just, haha, we killed them.
Well, we'll see if they actually can take that fight. Katomi walks into vision for just a moment. The rest of the team is pretty far away. Amar, he's going to immediately take off that track, but Entity having a clue that they're here and will get the D ward, immediately jumps out after leashing onto Fishman, so they take out that vision. Also worth noting, that's an Aghanim Scepter completed for Pango.
Yeah. Especially with the basher he's already got. He's going to be able to disrupt that Nigma black hole at points in the game as well. So it's going to be very useful for the big team fight.
Underneath a ward, they know what's going on right now. Look at this movement away. So the entire side of Entity, they TP 4 heroes bottom right away as soon as they catch sight down there of Sumail and GH.
Yeah, they got to run back to the top side of the map. They have to protect this ward that they have outside Roshan. Again, this is the crucial part of the game for either team. And Nigma, as soon as they see the TP's bottom, they're like, you know what? Let's get back to the top side. Let's keep themselves here. And it's surprising. I feel like vision-based has been Entity's game. Even though Nigma have the Slark, I feel like Entity just had the stronger observers.
Wait a minute now. Katomi. The glimpse. That maybe was just to get the bounty hunter away, but they kill off Amar's courier. That was, I think, his Echo Saber.
Yeah, rebuilding the Echo Saber.
MC? Is he going to be in trouble up here? They spot him. Stormer catches him. He has a BKB, though, if he needs to use it. MC will pop it and just walk away.
And Roshan's respawn, so any spells or item used right now will be critical if anyone's out to scout out this Roshan.
I mean, the other thing, like, this MC Pango is huge around the pit right now. As they drop down the meatballs, Stormer won't be able to connect. But with Basher and Aghanims on Pango, he is like such a huge teamfight presence right now.
Yeah, luckily for Nigma at least, it's like you don't need the BKB to take the fight as a Pangolier. It's more a comfort of aggressive positioning. But no, neither team's really pinged out the Roshan yet, but yeah, Nigma somewhat aware due to their desire to look for that fight.
MC somewhat low on mana right now. But Kuro, the charge, it connects onto 2, both supports, caught, Amar runs in, and Fishman already dropped down the ulti, but he popped the Dark Pact, topped everything. Shadow Dance, he's away. Kuro is going to die. Amar, does he have a way to get out of himself? Doesn't quite look like it. MC already dies to Stormstormer, so they've taken down 2. Sumail still chasing, finds Stormstormer now. The rest of his team moving into position, but the Meteor Hammer is going to land it, and the Meteor damage is so insane. Sumail goes down. Watson and Stormstormer just wrecking havoc at this early point in time, and now Amar wants to get out of there. Looks like he's going to be able to, but that is an easy Roche for Entity now.
Just a 1x1x1 from Nigma. You've got, on the right-hand side of the fight, you've got MC trying to force the Monkey King and Enigma not to enter the fight, but it was one black hole into Wukong into Sunstrike, which killed off him, and then you got Leshrac just running in. Like, a lot of just individual plays come out from Nigma. Thank God we have a replay with this one. So like Kuroki, he starts, but the Yules from Katomi prevents Fishman from dying, and that alone completely ruins the fight. Because if you look at the mini-map, you now have like 3 heroes of Nigma, MC by himself taking the fight. We'll see it for a split second, but it's like, yeah, this is not the fight you expected from Nigma, especially at this point in the game with the items that we're mentioning. This is like a, you jump one hero, you execute, you go for another hero, you execute, but they weren't able to do that. Entity, just perfect kiting the entire time, keeping each other alive and just punishing them perfectly. And they get the Roshan, they get the 10k lead.
This timing right now too, we just talked about the Stormstormer shard, but also hitting level 20, that talent, 80% extra damage. It's like, it's so insane from the Invoker when you get this combination. We saw it right there. Absolutely devastating.
I mean, he's able to farm so quickly with it. He's able to team fight with it. And
wait a minute, though. The Meteor Hammer, oh, it comes back to bite you. Is he going to get away, though? Still has that damage coming into him from the Diabolic Edict. Wants to run away. Watson toes up. They completely missed the Boundless Strike. But it's going to be enough to keep Stormstormer alive. Yeah, super weird, that last one. And like you said, the fight ends up, you know, now being this 11k gold lead along with an Aegis on the Monkey King.
Yes. It's how beautiful this game is because it was at a knife's edge, right? Both teams were equal the entire time, and that second Roshan, that is the decider. And
yikes.
You see it with the graph. It's, well, poof, back to us. But Nigma, they understand that, like, there's no plan B with their lineup, right? There's no way to be, like, cute with the map. It's just, we need to find pickoffs, we need to fight, and even when they're down, they're going to continue doing the same thing. This will be, like, if this game lasts 2 hours, we'll be saying the same thing for 2 hours for Nigma's lineup.
Well, we'll see if that ends up happening, or if they can, you know, maybe on Entity try and close it out early. We'll see. You can see the switch up there in the betting odds as well from esportsbet.io. But 38 minutes in, and Nullifier on Monkey King. I mean, I guess the thing that feels weird about that was that, like, the last fight didn't even feel like a fight. It felt like two different ones happening simultaneously where none of the best spells were used in the right way by Nigma. I wonder if that looks different, if they can get all together, or if this, like, 8K gold lead now has sort of made it almost insurmountable.
I feel like this gold lead, it doesn't really matter for Nigma unless it's like 30K. Like, there's always going to be opportunities to outplay, outposition, and just out-tempo Entity, based on the fact they're locked into their spells, right? And Entity, they're cushioning that with how they itemize, right? You mentioned the Nullifier, there's now a Hex Invoker. They're giving themselves ways to engage while having to commit the kind of game-deciding spell usage, at least. And now Entity, finally, they actually, you know, cross the river with some aggression, getting some D-wards off.
And you can see immediately afterwards a gem bought by Kuro, feeling like they need to try and take away some of this vision. Because it's fair, like, the other big benefit of Entity playing like this now is that they are going to be able to control the map, just deny all of that vision away from Nigma. And Watson, they were getting set up on him down bottom, but you don't want to go on that Aegis carry underneath the tier 1 tower. Just is not going to end well.
Yeah, not at all. Sumo, he's actually going for a Hex himself, which will give Nigma some more explosive entry to the fight. And yeah, if anything for Nigma, the game plan for them, it just needs to be that clean connection. Like Kuroki, of course, he's got Shadow Blade on the Spirit Breaker, which means when you enter, it's like you're not controlling the fight. You're going to get used up, or you're going to get some form of spell on you to prevent you from being that Spirit Breaker disruption. But it means the rest of Nigma need to utilize the vision he presents to take the fight. And I don't think they've been doing that well this game at all. I think they've actually been somewhat weak at using their the vision that they gain, be it through Slark or Spirit Breaker. And again, that's why Entity has been thriving.
Well, a tier 2 tower taken for Entity as the thriving's going to continue. We also saw Lincoln Sphere done on Stormstormer, so even now that easy opening that they have with the Blink Hex is not going to be super available to them. Sumail gonna have to find some other avenue to make that work. And I mean, it's feeling pretty dire. It's pretty rough right now. MC is the other hero to me that maybe can make like a bit of a difference and create some chaos in these fights. But he really needs to be able to do a lot with this Basher Aghanim Scepter combo.
Also, just to mention, Sumo being quite cheeky there. He's throwing his Hex on the ground, at high ground, pushing out the wave without it, to then pick it back up when he's back out of fog. So he's doing even the small plays to try and have an item reveal to give them some... So yeah, Entity are not aware of this Hex.
Up. They see it. Stormstormer, he runs right into him, but immediately the Hex comes out and they got control onto the Slark. Devastation! He got absolutely walloped. Dude, that talent is insane. That should not be possible. And now they're going to pull back in and kill off GH afterwards. I mean, yeah, it was way too much, way too quick.
And MC bot as well. He has BKB TP.
Well, he's going to get Hex down now. Wants to get away. Already down to below half HP. Well, Hammer tries to push him back, but Alacrity, one more hit. MC tracked, killed. I mean, that's the other thing that we didn't even really talk about is every one of these kills has turned into more issues. Watson, he is no longer Aegis. Okay, expired 40 seconds ago.
I mean, I guess that's the Hex reveal. It took a couple of deaths on Nigma, but...
And Kuro's the one that gets all the gold for it.
Oh, no.
He's going to now get caught there for a moment by the stun. The Hex is out onto Leshrac, ready to run forward. Pops the BKB. They need to get something out of this fight. Got to find a goal.
Oh, the blink!
Oh, the blink back! Sick stuff coming from Sumail, but will it matter? Might not be able to do that much as his BKB is running low on Sumail, but he does have the Hex ready. And it looks like they're not going to tempt fate anymore. Do get the huge dodge on that black hole, though.
Again, Entity, it's like they're already dicing with death because they know their monkey's dead, so anything they do here is volatile. It's like, even if you win, it's like, you're not going to gain anything. So the fight is for fun. And then it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, let's disengage here, but if they hit the hole, then sure, it's a whole different story, but yeah, very quick fingers from Sumo there. Again, this net worth lead, it pretty much feels like nothing, because at any moment, any Hex, any initiation, both teams have the damage to kill off a hero.
Smoke break there. They tried to get the jump onto Stormstormer with the Spirit Breaker, but it wasn't going to work.
I feel like Amar's just been playing a mini game, you know? Like,
a little bit.
It's not like we're talking about Slark being this insane damage dealing carry, you know? It's just like he's just vibing. He's just living his little best life, fishy life. He jumps in, he's like, ooh, hello! Jumps out, tanks some spells. It's I would like to see Amar, you know, start scaling a little bit in this game.
I mean, it's been a little bit rough for the guy, definitely. I mean, he's right about the same level as the Enigma, so again, off-lane Slark. That's what we were anticipating when it came in, as Kuro is going to run away there. Does manage to get some separation. And was that a BKB? I think he did have before the Aghanim Scepter queued up, but right now, queuing up the BKB first might be the right option.
Yeah, you got to get a BKB on the Spirit Breaker. It's critical. Like, every engagement he's had right now, he's charged in, and then like just the one yours from Bounty Hunter is destroying his game. Like, if he's able to lock on someone, like there's been like 2 fights where Kuroki's found Fishman, and if he's able to tank the Static Storm himself, or at least force Fishman to force away and not think about the better place of the fight, that's when Spirit Breaker becomes this like OP hero. Why this hero is like so good at, you know, like the post TI era when Barrow kind of popped off a little bit. But before BKB, it's very difficult. And that's mainly speaking about support. If you're a core, you have levels, ags and whatnot, it's different.
It's a little bit of a difference.
On support, it's like, you're kind of like a primal beast, just with really shit farming speed. Like, as soon as you get BKB, you are like the king of the fight.
Right. Well, and I think that that's something to sort of consider too, is, I mean, we talk about sort of what that hero still needs. In general, it just feels like Nigma need a little bit more out of all of their heroes, and that's what this Katomi Bounty Hunter has kind of given them. We see 3 components of an Aghanim Scepter done on Disruptor, playing out of position 5, and, you know, that they're starting to get to a really scary scenario. Boots of Bearing now for the Bounty Hunter. All these heroes are going to be scaling, as MC does manage to get the roll away. So won't be able to catch the Pangolier, but yeah, I'm seeing all of these NT heroes become very scary, and for Nigma, it's pretty much just the Lesh for me. Yeah,
and for Bounty Hunter, like, because of his 15 talent plus the Boots of Bearing, right, he's giving his team bonus move speed. Oh shit, hold on 1 second, MC, he's been caught.
He is in and he is down, going to fall. The rest of the team was moving in, but it was not going to matter.
And Roshan's up in 5 seconds, actually.
Oh, man. He does have buyback on it.
But no rolling for 35.
We'll see if that ends up becoming a bit of an issue there. But you got to imagine that this is, like, the key one. If you give up this Aegis, you're either giving away a Refresher Shard. What is it going to be? It's the Refresher Shard for Toby. Could be really rough. And you hate to give this one up. They have to know that Roche is going down. Mar steps forward. And Katomi, they glimpse him. Stormstormer catches him right there to the side. And again, Amar in trouble. Does get the huge heal up.
But
and the relocate out. And Roche, it's going to fall. So Stormstormer picks up everything. Amar didn't even manage to quite get the cheese in time. So Aegis, Refresher, everything there. And GH, he's going to be the one that's left behind. Unreal. Entity came to play today.
I just feel like this entire theme of the game has been they have protected this top side of the dire jungle near perfectly. Like, anytime Nigma tries to place themselves there, like, all the highlights post-game could literally just be glimpses into just Nigma death. They have done a really good job, and yeah, you know, first Roshan goes Nigma's way, but second and third going Entity. That's exactly what you need to be able to, you know, build a necessary, you know, an actual valid net worth lead.
Well, and now you do have that Aghanim Scepter done on the Disruptor too, so I mean, everything just becomes that much more difficult. If Sumail doesn't pop that BKB in time, it's going to be a huge issue. And you can see the swing there. Dota plus win probability. Still holding out some hope. As you're talking about, even with this enormous lead, there is still some potential that they have to take fights. But Entity very much in the driver's seat right now.
You know, I asked about Slark and scaling.
Yeah.
Just don't look at his quick buy. It's the opposite of scaling.
That's how it goes.
He's trying to help the boys out with some double depth shrouds.
MC, he's going to try and start this fight now. Get some Pango roll back and forth. The blink in. Stormstormer drops down the meteors and just decimating this poor old Spear Breaker. Kuro ends up dying to one last hit from the Boundless Strike coming from Watson. And with the initiation used and both supports dead now, Entity just feel completely free in this game.
Yeah, they just have no cares. They click on Spirit Breaker, they see no BKB. He's now dead for 50. If he buybacks, you know, there won't be a BKB by the end of this game. So yeah, I think they are just happy to play with confidence. Enabling each other. Again, like I was trying to touch on it, like Bounty Hunter, boost bearing move speed, 15 talent with your track move speed. Like, Entity move quick. Like, they're able to disengage and move perfectly in these fights now.
And they drop it down. MC barely gets brought out of there. GH with the save at the last second. but that was a lot used. And Watson now just going to drop the ulti with the Alacrity going. He's already 25 too, so gets the extra big ring. And that is going to be a full set of racks going down. 24,000 gold lead right now as they all get away.
For Entity, they need to protect themselves on the disengage. Maybe Nigma, with no Wukongs, look to try and find at least a pick-off. But yeah, for Entity, reset, go to another lane, wait for Wukongs, slap it down at a Rax, you're going to get it again. Repeat that 2 more times, suddenly you got mega creeps.
Well, they're going to jump in. Amar's like, I'm here, guys. I got him. Fishman, you're going down. I'm trying to kill you, but no. Toby says no. And they will manage to bring down Amar. Second round, Toby there. Finds him immediately. Black Hole gets canceled, though. Okay, a bash keeps him alive for now. Sumail at half HP. They buy back onto Amar, too. And MC, they run in, and Stormstormer does some good damage. Not quite enough to take down Sumail, but they did get the kill onto MC. Now he buys back Amar. He's back into the fight, finds the Hex. Monkey King gained 4 staff away, turns to fight, and they have to jump out. But that's going to be the control. Sumail in trouble. Tries to walk back under the depth shroud, but won't be able to get under it for safety. 90 seconds without their Lesh. And Kuro, is he going to be brought down too? You know it.
They just don't have the damage now. It's like, even when Invoker TPs to the bot tier 2, and then has to run back into the fight, they just don't have that explosive damage to kill off a hero. You can't really rely on Leshrac and Pango to be your scaling heroes into the late game, and yeah, Entity just gonna run it down lanes.
And that's going to be a lot of damage there onto Amar. Not quite enough for the kill, but yeah, walking down lanes. They still have the Aegis. They've got Cheese. They did have to use the Refresher. It was a good Pango bash. But
we have Arcane Blink complete on Monkey King.
Yeah, they're ready to go. And Arcane Blink comes out immediately. GH is going to die. Amar, the last one left alive for Nigma. And well, he's going to be glimpsed back in. Wants to find some salvation. There is no salvation here. That is going to be Entity taking a 36,000 gold lead and taking the game. GG called.
What a beautiful game for them, honestly. Just like the way that they protected their jungle, the way that they understood that they didn't need to be the aggressors in this game to win it. I feel like Fishman, if I could give an MVP.